Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we've got a few things to do this episode, but first, I want to go ahead and grab this contract. Gathering surface-deployed mystery goo observation science is something we're already doing, so we're going to go ahead and grab that, and let's just check in on our progress there. Now, it's currently on the dark side of the moon, so we're going to have to wait a while for the power to actually come back here. Oh my. That was exciting. I did not expect to see the Communitron just jump like that. But okay. I wanted to check on this guy. So we've completed 16.55% of the science and transmitted 10%. So that's going to continue going for a while. And it'll be a while before we get that contract done. But first we need to wait until there is power there. But we have a tiny bit of infrastructure left to do, so we are going to go ahead and launch ourselves a Raven 0X one final time. Before we go to the synchronous orbit of Eve, we're probably going to redesign this with some higher tech parts. But for right now, we've got ourselves one more launch to do, and this launch is heading off to Minmus. So let me get the rotation done here. Excellent. And we will begin to turn just a little bit here. There we go. We're going to have to change our inclination anyway, because I'm not launching into the proper inclination to go to Minmus. That's fine. We've got plenty of DV for the inclination change, so we don't actually care too much about our inclination here. For now, we will just go ahead and head over this way. We're passing through max Q now, though, so I want to go ahead and hold off on the pitching. Okay, there we go. We are through max Q. And, yeah, that's a lot of aerodynamic forces still. It's really not wanting to let us launch on quite the trajectory that I'd like to be on. Okay, hold here. This is where I want to hold. Off go our side boosters, which means that we suddenly have a lot more control, and we should be going directly at the horizon because we have plenty of vertical speed at this juncture. The atmosphere is starting to get a lot thinner, so this is easier to manage. How is our inclination looking? It's fine. I'm not too concerned about 1 degree inclination. Do we need to be at 1 degree or negative 1 degree to be moving towards Minmus's? I can't remember. Minmus's inclination is like 6.7 degrees? Something like that? Okay. We can go ahead and... Actually, we can stage our fairing, which I'm going to go ahead and do. And we will go ahead and add a maneuver here and get ourselves right on into orbit. I did not want to do any of that. Okay. Excellent. Something along the lines of this will do. And we'll go ahead and time warp towards this. We want to burn this at T-minus 23.5 seconds. So we will just... Oh, we're physics warping. I was still in Atmo. Okay. I was wondering why it was warping so slowly. This is a pro-grade burn, of course. And we want to burn now. So off we go into orbit. And then we'll need to set Minmus as our target. In fact, I'm a moron. I meant to hit M. I did not hit M. I hit spacebar. Luckily, we still have enough DV to make this happen. But only just. And hopefully, our core, it was on the same heading, but hopefully it had a little spin to it. I think it's not going to come hit us. So that's good. So we want to set Minmus as our target. We just wasted a whole bunch of DV because, as I said, I'm a moron. And yeah, about 6.7 degrees. We need to bring this Not that way, but rather this way. There we go. That'll do. We'll go ahead and get oriented for that burn. We've still got enough DV to make this happen, so I'm not going to relaunch or anything. We don't want to be set to prograde. Stability assist. Thank you very much. That'll do. Okay, and now we can warp to our next maneuver. So we want to go ahead and go there. Excellent. It's a 6-second burn, so we want to burn this at T minus 3 seconds. We'll go ahead and time warp towards that. Okay, I'm going to open up the map here so that I can actually see what our real descending node is. Actually, it doesn't say. So we'll just have to rely on the maneuver node for now anyway. Okay, 0.1, 0.0. That'll do. Okay, so we probably want to head off towards Minmus sometime like here. How's that feeling? That's pretty close. Yeah, that should be a good encounter. Honestly, that'll do. I want to be a little bit less DV if we can... I want to select this without selecting the desert airfield. Thank you. I want to just barely get an encounter here. We can go retrograde. If we really wanted to. So something around here. This'll do. Yeah, that's plenty of time. Okay, so let's go ahead and get in position for that burn. That's going to be a prograde burn. Pure prograde. And can we find the warp to next maneuver button? Yes, we can. Fantastic. This is... We're not going to have much DV left. Luckily, we won't need much DV over Minmus. Hopefully it's enough. I mean, it's just because I'm a moron and made a mistake, right? So, if it's not enough, I can send up another one off camera. So we need to burn this at T minus 10 seconds, so let's get over there. So right about now. And off we go. We should have way more DV than this, but nope. I am a complete and utter moron, and we already knew this. Okay, we're just continuing to burn prograde very gently here until we see an encounter. Too much encounter! Too much encounter! I want it to be far lower than that. Or far higher than that, even. That'll do. Okay. So with that, we're going to need to brake here. Ooh, that's a lot of DV. That is a lot of DV. I mean, I suppose what I could do is I could do a bit of a time skip here. Because we'd have more than enough DV if I hadn't hit the spacebar, right? I could, in theory, do all the needed changes. Well, let's get into this orbit first, and then we'll discuss that, actually. So let's go ahead and warp to this maneuver. And what I'm thinking is I could deduct the cost of this Raven 0X via the cheat menu, turn on infinite propellant, and get us into the orbit that we need. But let's see how much DV we have and how close we can get here. Okay, so this is a 5-second burn. We have, in total, 7 seconds left in this tank. So we're going to need to warp forward a little bit here, burning at 2.5 seconds. Right about now. Good enough. Interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. So let's just raise this orbit up to be about here, circularized. That'll be fine. And then about right here, how much does it cost to make this a polar orbit? This is really cheap. This is really cheap. We're good. We've got the DV. This is fine. Okay, 41.2 meters per second. We don't need to do any cheating. That's fantastic. And we don't need to do any cheating. We never needed to do cheating. That would have just been a time skip. But we don't need to launch another craft. Is the important thing here. So we'll go into stability assist, get lined up for that burn, which will be right about here. Warp to that maneuver. And let's make sure that we're getting electric charge. We are indeed. Excellent. This is a 0.8 second burn. So we are going to need to make sure that we do this carefully. So I'm going to burn this at T-4 seconds and not throttle up very high. I mean, we have a decent margin for error here in our DV remaining. I just want to do something along the lines of that. That'll do. And we've still got some DV left. Through some miracle. Okay, so there's a polar Minmus orbit. Fantastic. Now was the first thing that I wanted to do this episode. I really didn't think we'd have enough DV for that inclination change. But turns out we did. And I'm very happy about that. Now, let's see here. There shouldn't be anything else there. But what we need to do is we need to go to Minmus with a lander now. So we need to go ahead and open up the Griffin 3L, which is this monstrosity. And we're going to need to put on another one of these. Like, we're going to need to do this like we did our first moon landing, right? So we're going to need to put on, let's see, it's under cargo, isn't it? Yeah, a cargo storage unit. And inside of that cargo storage unit, I want to put on photovoltaic panels. Inside of here, well, we actually don't need this many photovoltaic panels, do we? We need a Guab ED monitor. Let's see, these are all fine. These require 1 power each. So then we also need a control station. Like that. And that way we have a weather analyzer, which we technically don't need because it's vacuum. So we can ditch the weather analyzer, put in a photovoltaic panel here. So that'll be able to produce 2 power and 4 power in total. And this requires 1, 2, 3, 4 power. So if we're going to bring anything else to Minmus, we're going to need to bring power for it. But this will be fine. So we need to check our staging here, make sure this is all correct. And it does indeed appear correct so far. This parachute is definitely not in the right stage. These are drogue chutes, right? Yeah. So drogue chutes should go here. Detaching all of this goes before the drogue chutes, unless we're trying to bring back the landing stage, which we'll decide on the way back and manually move the staging if we do. And that looks correct. This will be more than enough to get to Minmus, and who do we want to bring? It kind of doesn't matter if we bring Jeb or Valentina, they both have the same experience level. So I guess we'll bring Valentina because she always likes to eat the ice cream on Minmus. Excellent. And off we go. I don't know that we're going to make the landing in this episode, but we'll get to Minmus for sure. Oh, you know what? I actually want to revert that back because I wanted to double check, because I think we got more science, didn't we? So, like that accelerometer for one thing, and the seismic activity reader. So, let's see here. We've got the thermometer, mystery goo, and the barometer. So yeah, the seismic accelerator, or the seismic accelerometer, rather, is something that we need to be bringing now. So we can just place this right up over here. Fantastic. And now we can get seismic readings from Minmus. And we don't have one of those, I believe, from the moon. So when we go back to the moon, when we have to bring the ionographer there, we'll grab a seismic scan then. And actually, we can go ahead and keep this, recover the vessel, and get ourselves free science. 6 free science. There we go. Of course, that only works when we're landed on bodies, so double check that it didn't change our crew. Fantastic. And we're ready to head off to Minmus. And this time, I'm not going to waste a bunch of DV. This thing is still massively overbuilt for Minmus, don't get me wrong, but it should be fine. Off we go. Now, if I recall correctly, this thing has a bit of pitching issues when the SRBs are connected. But I still don't want to bomb the KSC, so we're just going to pitch over a tiny bit. I mean, these are skippers, so they do gimbal. So we actually have a reasonable amount of pitch authority here. Technically, I think we're... Is this technically yawing? Yeah, this is technically yawing. That's fine. We're passing through max Q right now, and I want to attempt to hold this attitude as we do. This thing is very much wanting to pitch to the horizon, but we're able to hold it just here, which is great. I want to hold it at this 45-degree mark for just a moment until our SRBs are burned out, which will be in 5 seconds. There go our SRBs. Fantastic. Now we've got another 25 seconds of burn in our side tanks. At this point, we should be pretty much locked prograde. Apoapsis of 64 kilometers. Okay, we can now pitch to the horizon. There we go. Off go our side tanks. And our center core will carry us to orbit. Just working on getting some horizontal speed right now. And as usual, we will burn here until we're 2 minutes to apoapsis. What is the thrust away to this stage? Pretty low. Okay. Good thing we're already well up in our trajectory. And I always forget that I've got this maneuvering stage on here. So we've got plenty of DV to get to Minmus and get back. Like, if we can get to Moon and back, we can get to Minmus and back. No problems. Time to apoapsis is still decreasing currently, so we're going to have to aim for a relatively high apoapsis, which I suppose is fine. We're now officially in space. I'd kind of like to stage these guys. I mean, this is all going to be manual if I do it that way. I love it. Bounce! Oh, no, that did not bounce. Okay. That slightly exploded. And I guess I'll manually do these, just because I don't want to mess with the staging just yet. Kaboom. And that one actually missed. Fantastic. Well, we are well past our two-minute mark, so we can go ahead and circularize this. Something along the lines of this will do-ish. Actually, we'll go for this. Yeah, that'll do. This is a 31-second burn. And we want to burn this, of course, at 15.5 seconds. So I will go ahead and maneuver over to here. And let's get into orbit. We are, of course, going to need to do a match planes burn after this. Okay, so we want to burn now. And we should just be prograde at this point. No point in being anywhere but prograde. Excellent. So we'll have to do the inclination change with this stage, so we're not going to quite have enough to get to Minmus with our center core. But it'll be pretty close. And our maneuver stage is going to get us through all of our maneuverings for sure. Okay, this is close enough in terms of our orbit. So let's go ahead and set Minmus as our target. That's Moon. Let's go ahead and set Minmus as our target. And 6 degrees. That's fine. Other direction. 2, 1, and close enough. Okay, we're going to need to start this burn pretty soon. So I'm just trying to orient very quickly here. Should be on stability assist. We want to burn this at 9.5 seconds is when we want to burn this. Freezing physics now. Okay, 9.5 seconds. So right around now will do. So there's our inclination change. How are we doing? 0.1 degrees. That'll do. We've got 639 meters per second left in our main core here. Minmus is currently here. We might have some issues with Moon and encounters thereof. A little later here for this burn, something along the lines of this. How's that looking? Great. That looks phenomenal. Our inclination is going to be a little wacky on the way in, but we'll aim for about 20 kilometers. And maybe we'll see if we can... ooh, hello. That was a lot of big changes for a mouse scroll wheel. I wanted to just see if we could maybe alter our inclination to be a little bit more equatorial, but apparently not. We can always do that when we're actually at the location. So that'll be fine. This is just a prograde burn. And we will go ahead and warp to the maneuver if I can find the button. That's warp here. There we go, warp to next maneuver. And I canceled it, rather than exiting the map. See, this is the problem with having a giant microphone, like, right in front of my keyboard. I can't actually see what buttons I'm pressing, which is slightly awkward. We'll go ahead and physics warp this forward until we are at the prograde marker. About like that. Okay, and this is a 1 minute 21 second burn, so we actually want to burn this now. And off we go. We'll probably have to do a little bit of adjustment, but that's okay. Our center core will be gone by then. We'll be able to turn quite well, in theory. And when we can upgrade this to a mainsail, this is going to be so much better. But for now, off we go to Minmus. We've got plenty of electric charge, no problems there, we're flying into the sun, so that is great. Center core will be detaching in 3, 2, 1, now. Off we go. Excellent. And this poodle will carry us a good long ways. We've got 3 minutes of burn in this thing. That is so much burn time. And then, of course, in this, we've got even more burn time. Okay. We're going to want to cut our throttle here pretty soon. And just burn gently here. A little further, I think. One more. That'll do. Okay. So yeah, our inclination is definitely odd. But we'll change that in a little bit. But for now, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we will be landing on Minmus. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.